So what exactly is a planet? Easy question, right? After all, you're standing on one right now. But the scientific definition was fairly loose until recently. Astronomers put their heads together in 2006 and came up with 3 conditions for planethood. A planet must orbit the Sun. It must be large enough that its own gravity molds it into a spherical shape. And it must have an orbit free of other small objects. Unfortunately, Pluto failed to meet the 3rd condition. It was downgraded to a dwarf planet. Dwarf planet? What's that? These faraway worlds need to check off only 2 of the 3 planet-defining characteristics from the list. They must orbit the Sun and be big enough for their gravity to squish them into a spherical shape. Along with Pluto, astronomers have identified 4 other dwarf planets. Most of them join Pluto in the Kuiper belt of comets beyond the orbit of Neptune, the 8th planet from the Sun. They include Eris, which rivals Pluto in size, egg-shaped; Haumea, one of the fastest spinning objects in the solar system. Its day lasts just 4 hours. Mighty. Ceres, the largest of the asteroids at nearly 600 miles in diameter, and Makemake, which is the most recently discovered and the most awesomely named. The 5 confirmed dwarf planets, including Pluto, are all smaller than Earth's moon, but some of them have moons themselves. Why are some planets rocky while others are balls of gas? A planet's makeup depends largely on its place in the solar system. The 4 inner planets formed from the debris that orbited closer to the Sun. The outer planets developed well beyond the orbit of Mars from gases and ice. The 8 planets and numerous dwarf planets in our solar system come in 3 flavors. Terrestrial planets. These smaller inner planets, which include Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are made of solid matter, rocks and metals. Gas giants. Jupiter and Saturn are titanic balls of hydrogen and helium. Some astronomers consider them failed stars. Ice giants. The far-flung worlds of Uranus and Neptune are gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn, but astronomers also call them ice giants because their atmosphere is composed mostly of icy water, ammonia, and methane. Why doesn't Mercury have an atmosphere? This tiny planet, the smallest in the solar system, is only slightly larger than our moon, and its surface is the spitting image of our moon's too. So its gravity is too weak to grip a heat-trapping atmosphere. Mercury's crater-pocketed surface may contain valuable minerals. It's also the speediest of all the planets, orbiting the Sun every 88 days. That means you could celebrate 4 birthdays for every one back on Earth. The length of space journey from Earth to Mercury is 4 years. Why is Venus like Earth's evil twin? The 2nd planet from the Sun is roughly the same size and density as Earth, which means the gravity is similar between here and home. Like Earth, Venus also has clouds and wind, although the clouds here are made of sulfuric acid and the wind exceeds tornado strength. The average temperature here is more than 6 times hotter than the hottest spot on Earth, making Venus the most scorching planet in the solar system. It's hot enough here to turn a slab of lead into a molten puddle. Sunset won't bring relief from the heat either. Day or night, from its North Pole to its South Pole, every day of the year, Venus is locked in a never-ending heat wave. Blame the blanketing atmosphere of carbon dioxide, which is thick enough at the surface to crush a submarine. The length of space journey from Earth is 6 months. Why is Earth's sky blue? Air molecules in our atmosphere scatter the light, filtering blue out of the spectrum of colors that we can see. Why is Mars's sky red? Rusting iron minerals in the rocks and soil blow into the air occasionally in planet-wide dust storms, giving the atmosphere a rusty tint. Mars is cold, dead desert world today, but life may have once thrived in ancient seas and riverbeds. The red planet is also home to the solar system's tallest volcano, Olympus Mons, which is nearly 3 times taller than Mount Everest. The length of space journey from Earth is 7 months. Why does Jupiter have a big red spot? Jupiter's rapid spin, its hurricane-force winds, and the chemical composition of its atmosphere create colorful cloud bands that encircle the planet. One of these bands contains a hurricane large enough to span 3 Earths. This great red spot has been raging for centuries. The largest planet in our solar system, large enough that 1,300 Earths could fit inside of it, rules over a system of its own. Several of Jupiter's nearly 70 moons are worthy of your attention. Megamoon Ganymede is larger than Mercury and has its own magnetic field. Volcanoes on Io, the most volcanic body in the solar system, spew clouds of yellow sulfur nearly 200 miles high. The length of space journey from Earth is 13 months. Why does Saturn's sky flash? Large ammonia crystals that form in this ice giant's upper atmosphere cause electrical storms the size of the United States, and lightning strikes 1,000 times more powerful than those on Earth. Saturn's awesome rings alone are worth the trip. But Star Wars fans might want to visit the gas giant for another reason. A small, crater-pocked moon named Mimas looks just like the Death Star. The length of space journey from Earth is 3 years. Uranus. One trip to the solar system's coldest planet could pay for itself 10 times over. Researchers have found that Uranus's crushing atmosphere can compress methane, an explosive gas, into precious rocks. Clouds in the depths of Uranus's atmosphere might rain diamonds. The length of space journey from Earth is 9 years. Neptune. The ice giant is home to the windiest weather in the solar system. Clouds of frozen methane whoosh faster than the speed of sound through storms that could engulf all of Earth. The length of space journey from Earth is 12 years. Which planets in our solar system have rings? 4 of them: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Why do they have rings? Astronomers believe these rings formed from bits of asteroids and comets that were captured by the powerful gravity of these gas giants. Saturn's rings are the easiest to spot. More than 170,000 miles wide, dappled with spokes that rotate at different rates. Saturn's awe-inspiring ring system is actually a glittering shower of ice and rock that orbits the planet. And although the rings stretch about 3/4 of the distance between the Earth and the Moon, they are incredibly thin, about 30 feet wide in places. Do all the planets in the solar system spin? Yes, but at different rates and in some cases, directions. Venus spins so slowly that its year, roughly 225 Earth days, is shorter than its day, the equivalent of 243 Earth days. It also rotates in the opposite direction. The Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. The gas giant Jupiter may be the largest planet in the solar system, but it has the shortest day, just 10 hours, because of its rapid rotation.